I've interviewed Jim Jenkins. Jim Jenkins was the guy that was one of the 4 guys in the autopsy room that held JFK's brain in his hands. I interviewed Clint Hill, who was a Secret Service agent for Jackie Kennedy. He was Secret Service agent, I think, for like 5 presidents. And he was the first guy that jumped on the car when Dealey Plaza was shot. So you know who Clint Hill is. And a bunch of other guys that have to do with JFK. What's your version of the story?
2 days prior, let me do that. I went to New Orleans and I brought an envelope down, which I bring envelopes here and home. And I go into Carlos's restaurant, and I just came from New York, and I ran into the bathroom, and he says, somebody in there. So a few minutes later, a guy comes out, I go in, I pee, I go, and he just put down a big plate. They knew I like pasta vongole, el dente, unbelievable. And I sit down, he says, don't get comfortable. I said, what do you mean? He says, you gotta go back. He says, you got something for me? And I gave him the envelope. I just wanted to get rid of the envelope to begin with. I said, Mr. C wants to know. He said, just tell him this, it's on. That's what he told me. Go back to New York, right? Go take a shower upstairs, come down, I'm gonna meet him at 11 o'clock. Come in. He says, what did he say? He says, it's on, okay. He slides a manila envelope over to me. He says, there's $15,000 in cash in there. There's merchant marine papers, and you're leaving the end of this week on the Independence. It's okay. He's, where are you going? He says, you're going on the ship. He says, that's all you gotta know. When you land in Barcelona, come off the ship, a man will meet you at the pier. He'll have a card, name on it. It's okay. I said, and what? He says, he'll tell you then what? And I did this so many times, you know, because I didn't want to know. He didn't want me to know. Thank God he didn't want me to know. So now I go, get all my clothes, I have $15,000 cash for spending money. Oh, and he said, you're gonna go to Layton's. I set you up at Layton's. We weren't wearing Brioni yet. He says, go to Layton's, get some clothes. You'll be at the captain's table every night. Captain Pennington's the captain of the ship. It's okay. So I get on board, and I have to go, I had crew deck. I had to go where the crew was. And they said, no, sir, you have to go, you're a passenger. I had Gucci luggage. The reason he got me on the ship as a hairdresser. See, as a merchant marine, there's no passports, there's nothing. He didn't want anybody to know where I was going. That's how much he protected me.
Wow.
I was gone 22 months. I leave, we're going under the Verrazano Bridge. I can remember it like yesterday. On the loudspeaker, they said, President Kennedy has just been shot. They didn't say he was dead. And I'm getting chills even repeating it. I said, oh my God. Because I just spent so much time with John F. Kennedy. I went to the inaugural. I was with Senator John F. Kennedy watching him, babysitting for years while they were grooming this guy. That wasn't enough. Now that night in the dining room, because then later on, hours later, they mentioned he's dead. And then I said, oh, this is insane. Because I brought envelopes. I went to Texas when they convinced Lyndon Baines Johnson to join the ticket. Even though he had all these votes, they knew they needed Texas. And Lyndon Baines Johnson didn't like it.
He couldn't stand the family.
But he knew. They said to him, before his term's out, you'll be president.
Who told him that?
I can't tell you who told him that. That's why he came along for the ride. That's why he brought him to the Knoll. He was the only guy that brought him there. Nobody brought that out yet. And there was 3 shooters. That's why those guys, when they saw him, they knew he wasn't shot by Oswald. And guess what happened to me now? We go, the next morning I get up on a telex newspaper. The guy that was in the bathroom, Louis Harvey Oswald. Marcellus hired him. They wanted their own hitters. They didn't trust anybody. 3 hitters. The guy in the sewer.
Guarantee that someone's gonna get him.
The guy in the sewer was the dead bullet. That was the bullet that they can't figure out how it made lefts and rights. A good friend of mine, too. And what they did to him, they found him in a barrel. 73 people died. Since the Kennedy assassination, they took out 73 people. Connolly, nobody's going to tell you that shit. And that's why then they did what they did, But Bobby,
he was sitting in the front seat when that happened, the governor.
Yep.
And he knew what was going to happen?
We don't know.